What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Be Wise Podcast. I am your host, Chris Wright. Today we're going to talk about um, let's talk about the night that we almost died. At least that's what social media wanted you to believe. They wanted you to believe that it was the end of the world. It was the Cuban Missile Crisis. You remember you're scrolling, and then there was this fiery furnace called Donald Trump dropped this Truth Social about wiping out civilization. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Let people know about me and let them know that you like listening to me. So let's look at the tweet before we get started. And then we're going to dissect it and talk about how heads exploded. He got a little crazy. He said, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. And I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful will happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. That tweet actually, probably out of respect, someone edited that. He also said, all praise due to Allah. And that was offensive to some, so I think someone retyped that. And nevertheless, the main part about this that people freaked out about was that a whole civilization will die tonight. All right. By the way, if you happen to hear some banging and sawing and tools, power tools going on in the background, I got some contractors here rebuilding my deck. I was going to wait till tomorrow to do this pod, but I thought too important because the world had freaked out. They took their Xanax and now they're calming down. Anyway, I digress. So suddenly everybody became these amateur analysts with like a Wi-Fi connection, and they hit the giant red panic button. And everybody was using the word war criminal all over social media, on Facebook, on TikTok, Instagram, X, war criminal. And it was being thrown around like it was a settled law or something. People were speaking with total confidence about top military decisions, and they act like they were in the room and they weren't even invited. It was panic dressed up as analysis, and it was loud. Listen to Megyn Kelly.
Trump could drop a nuke and I'd still vote Republican over those people. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president,
Well, first of all, no. He can't behave like a normal human, which is why so many people voted for him, because he wasn't presidential. He didn't dress up the position. He lacked the decorum that all presidents come with, and lie and orate and, make all situations beautiful and pretty. So no, Megyn, you know this. You know this.
388 shit ass, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. I am the first to try to understand Trump and his strategy and to not freak out over his weird social media posts and language that is loose and incendiary.
But you're doing exactly that. Do you remember when she's going to speak on this, but remember bleeding out of her ears, bleeding out of her nose, bleeding out of everywhere somewhere. And that was Donald Trump talking to her during the debate. She already knows how Donald Trump talks. You already know it.
I've lived with it for 10 plus years. I learned it the hard way when I was on the receiving end of it for 9 months. And truly, I think that was a gift to me in many ways because it helped me really come to understand what he does with his social media. But this is completely irresponsible and disgusting. This is wrong.
So death to America is not disgusting when it comes from Iran? I guess not. Um, I don't know. I just think Donald Trump matches the intensity and the fire that other world leaders bring to America. You come in America that way, death to America. You defy America. You tell us what you're going to do in your long, diatribes, what we're going to do to America. But it's not okay, not presidential, for him to communicate the way he does.
It's wrong.
No,
He
it's
should
not.
not be doing it. I don't care that it's his negotiation tactic is to kill an entire country full of civilians, men, women, and children.
Do you really think he would do that, Megan? Did you really think that that's what he was going to do? We all know what Donald Trump means and what Donald Trump says are always two different things. Always. When he's going to do something, he's just not going to tell you what he's going to do, how he's going to do. You just didn't like the words. You didn't like the words that came out of his mouth or out of Truth Social on a tweet. It's called a Truth Social, actually. So now you're all in your feelings about it. You should know better. You voted for the man. You've supported the man for years. And this bothers you? I'm sure he said far worse.
An American president?
Yeah.
So that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened? It's just wrong. It's not hard to say it. It's not hard to recognize it. I wish he would stop doing this. Like, he can't negotiate without doing this. What does that say about him? What does that say about the position that our country is in right now in these negotiations? He's got to say this.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be a dignified, strong leader.
That's not who he is, Megan, and you know it. I was going to say, how about you not vote for him anymore? But you can't. You can't vote for him anymore. But if you're surprised today by this behavior, I'm a little disappointed, Megan. You're my girl. I watch you all the time. I listen to you all the time. I'm a little surprised by this reaction. I just am.
Without threatening a bunch of war crimes? Like, what is he, Genghis Khan? Like, what is he...
Genghis Khan, not Kong.
Trying to do? And why can't he do it with strength, threats? Sure, go for it. That don't diminish and demean the United States of America in this way.
So, she was all in her feelings about that. And I don't know where that came from. And then, here was someone in the press corps talking to Caroline Levitt about the same thing. And she kind of put them in their place.
Trump could drop a nuke and I'd still...
Wrong one, sorry.
How can the president claim that America can ever have the moral high ground if he's threatening to destroy civilizations and not casting wars as fights against other governments?
Andrew, I think you should take a look at the actions of this president over the course of the past 6 weeks and the actions of our brave men and women in our United States military who have taken out essentially taken out the military of a rogue Islamic regime that has chanted death to America for 47 years, that has killed and maimed thousands of American soldiers over the course of the last 5 decades. The president absolutely has the moral high ground over the Iranian terrorist regime, and for you to even suggest otherwise is frankly insulting.
There you go. That's how you answer that question. You don't get all paused, all in your feelings like Megyn Kelly did. All in your feelings like a lot of podcasters and war analysts suddenly became after the tweet. The social, I'm going to call it that. But now you see how people can flip-flop and act like they don't understand, and they have this line in the sand, and all of a sudden, and I'm thinking, is that what it took? Of all of the things that Donald Trump ever said, are you appalled by that? But here's the thing. I spent all day asking one simple question. And honestly, nobody wanted to sit with me on this one. None of my friends, none of the people who I talked to about this stuff, they didn't want to sit with me. My question was, since when does a president tell the world exactly what he's going to do? When? Think about it. Not this president, not any president. You don't broadcast your military plans to your own press, let alone to the people you're actually targeting, right? And if you're going to tweet your strike coordinates, you're not negotiating. You're performing. And we all should know that. He was performing. And if you're performing with military threats and, you're putting lives at risk for the sake of optics. So it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. But here's what's crazy. The Iranian response was really crazy. So we're all sitting around in America. We're calling our own president a war criminal. And look what the Iranians were doing. They weren't reacting to a strike. They were just reacting to Donald Trump's message. They spent the day preparing for the thing they were told was coming. They moved people. They positioned assets. And here's the dark part. They actually moved civilians, their own people, into harm's way. Power plants, infrastructure, you name it. They used their own citizens as human shields. And here we are calling our president our war criminal for a Truth Social tweet. What the Iranians were doing, that is by definition a war crime. But did you hear it on the news? Nope. We were too busy refreshing our feed to see if the nukes had actually launched yet. Then comes 8 o'clock and nothing. No nuclear strike, no leveling of cities, no World War III. Instead, we got an announcement, a 2-week ceasefire, mediated by Pakistan, structured negotiations, basically. Everyone was taking a big collective step back, like, phew. Now, usually when you avoid a nuclear apocalypse, like during the Cuban Missile Crisis, people react with relief and gratitude, right? You think there would be this, thank God we didn't all burn. Not this time. Mm-mm. The same people that were shouting war criminal shifted gears so fast, they probably got whiplash. And by 8:05 p.m., the narrative wasn't he's a madman. It was he's a chicken. He blinked. He didn't have the nerve. What did you want to happen? Did you want to see nuclear missiles rain down on Iran? And I kept reading those messages like one of my best friends on Facebook was like, I guess this is still Taco Tuesday. I was like, are you kidding me? I kept reading these comments and thinking, he didn't have the nerve to do what exactly? To do the very thing you said would make him a war criminal? To destroy a power grid and inherit the aftermath of a collapsed nation? Is that what you wanted to see? See, this is how Trump hatred goes. He's a maniac. He's diabolical. He's insane. And then when he doesn't do the diabolical, insane thing, then you go, he's inconsistent. He's a chicken. He doesn't keep his promises. Can't have it both ways. Donald Trump has been consistent on one thing for years. If you break it, you own it. And I stole that from Glenn Beck. And I said, you know what? He's right. He has zero interest in owning Iran. He's just trying to get some of the oil, maybe, but he doesn't want to own the country. He's not trying to drag us into another 20-year occupation. He doesn't want to break it because if you break it, you own it. And he doesn't want to pay for it. So next time the 7 p.m. panic hits and everyone starts screaming about the end of civilization, just take a breath. Wait to see what actually happens. Because most of the time, the fiery furnace is just very loud, very public negotiation tactics. That's just my take. Now, if you were hitting the panic button, let me know. Chop it up in the comments. Or you think this is just spin, let me know. I don't care. Were you waiting for this 8 p.m. pivot? Let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys be good. I'll talk to you on the other side.